Today, I'm here with an incredible, multidimensional being. She's played a lot of roles in the entertainment space. A lot of them have been as a villain. But today we get to hear from the source herself all the wonderful stories and all about her journey. And I'm here with my dear friend, someone that I love, that I admire, that I respect so much, Vanessa Villela. She's a Mexican-American award-winning actress that has captivated audiences on a global scale with her dynamic range and ability to bring characters to life on both TV and film. From El Señor de los Cielos, A Maid in Manhattan, Eva Luna, to now Selling Sunset on Netflix. I mean, Vanessa, I am so excited to hear about how you got here and most importantly about where you're going now. Thank you for being here, especially in LA traffic.
No, thank you. Yeah, thank you for having me. It's an honor to be here with you. I admire you and respect you as well. And of course, you're Latina. And as you know, I love everything about women empowerment and supporting women. And I'm super, super excited everything that's happening to you. So it's an honor for me to be here.
Thank you so much, Vanessa. I really appreciate that a lot. And I'm always rooting for you. I know that you have some exciting projects happening right now, but let's start from the beginning. Because I know that you've been in the spotlight since you were 4 years old, and that's really young. So I'm curious to hear. There's a lot of people that find their calling later on in their lives. Would you say that for you, you found it very early on?
Yeah, I mean, I think it happened honestly by accident in some way. You know, I was in a party with my sister and my mom. I was a classmate of mine that was celebrating her birthday, and her dad was a producer. And he was doing this kids TV show. And when he saw me and my sister, he asked my mom, can your daughters, they're so beautiful, can they be in my show? And my mom was like, I don't know, I'm going to ask them. She was not really interested in having us on TV or anything. It was just like more like if they want to do it. So she asked us and both of us jumped like, yes, yes. So I think it started as something that I never thought I would like. I was 4 years old and maybe not like thinking, I want to be an actress at that age. But as soon as I started acting, I realized how fun it was and how naturally it came to me to just do it. It was nothing that will put me nervous or that would not. Yeah, I don't know. It was just easy.
It was natural. It flowed with you.
Yeah, exactly. So I actually stayed in the show like probably, I would say like 2 years maybe, and I was doing different characters. And one of the characters that I was doing was the girlfriend of Chiqui Dracula, so a mini Dracula. And the producer was super, super happy with my participation. So he went to my mom. He's like, okay, we want Vanessa full time on the show, but now she's going to be the wife of Chiqui Dracula, so the mini Dracula. So now she's going to be full on and it's going to have, okay? So she goes and tells me, and then when she tells me that, I'm like, what? The wife? No way, I'm not going to get married to Dracula. So I started crying and I didn't want to go back to the show. And that's the reason why I left the show.
Wow. Well, we love to hear that you stood your ground even when you were little. And this is all in Mexico, correct?
Yes, Mexico City. In Mexico City with a company called Televisa, which is obviously it was like it's like kind of like the Hollywood of TV.
Yeah, it still is kind of. Yeah, that's amazing.
So it was really incredible. And then I obviously was in love with being on this journey already. So I did say to my mom, I do want to continue doing it. So I stayed with the company to do like some promotionals for like Father's Day and, whatever, Mother's Day or whatever with the company. And then I think then I went obviously to school and all that. But around 9 years old, I was like, no, I do want to be an actress. And I kept, looking for opportunities. And I started actually as an extra. I don't know how you say it in English as well, but an extra. And that was my first time on TV in soap operas. I was like, I don't care. I'm gonna build my own, road to become a soap opera actress.
Wow. So you were decided. Yeah, that's amazing. And what role did your parents play in your career early on?
My parents got divorced when I was 7 years old. So my dad was not really at home or making any decisions about my life. It was mostly my mom. And my mom was at that time already working also on TV, which is funny because she wasn't before. And then she was working there. But in her heart, I think that she didn't want me to do that because she knows the amount of pain that actors can go through because not always you'll get the role, or it can be a very difficult career to, to become successful. Exactly. Not an easy industry. So I think that deep in her heart is not what she wanted, but she always supported me. But she was like, okay, I'll let you do your own thing. So I was the one who went and asked for the opportunities, or asked for the auditions, or asked for this and asked for that. And then I did it. And then she fully supported me. So yeah, my mom is always like, what is your dream? What is that you want? What is that your heart wants? And then I think that because of my mom, and she was also an inspiration to me, like she stayed with two girls when my parents got divorced. My father was really into just focusing on work and his new life with his new wife at that time. And my mom, my sister, and I stayed on our own. So I think my mom inspired me to become successful and to be a hard worker woman. And yeah, I think that's a role that they played.
Did you feel like growing up in front of the cameras was an experience of its own? What was that journey like? Because I've heard a lot of great stories, but also horror stories from actors that grow up on TV, that grow up, nowadays with social media. It's insane. Anyone can blow up from one day to the other. So I'm curious to hear, what was that like for you growing up in front of the cameras?
I mean, for me, it was super fun. I actually always felt like they're very grateful and amazed of, oh my God, I'm on TV and people can recognize my work. Like some people are amazing at their work, but people don't know about it because they're not on TV. Yeah. But that doesn't mean that it makes us different. It's just like we are blessed, to be on TV and be recognized by more people. So I was in love with what I was doing, and I was like very, very grateful. But I always had like this deep desire in my heart to help people in some way with what I was doing. I was like, I need to find a way since I was little. And even I was defending my sister and helping everyone I could in my life, or protecting everyone I could in my life, even though I was a little one. That's how my personality was. And I don't know, it's because maybe I started so little, or because the way I was, sorry, maybe also the way I was raised. My mom has very strong values, and she's a very loving, caring mom. And I think that's why I never got like horror stories from TV, because I was very like, oh, I go to work and then I come back home, and I go to work and I come back home. And it's like, yeah, I was very, very clear on what I wanted in my life, and I wanted a beautiful life.
I'm a firm believer that we all have different aha moments in our lives. And I feel like recently, from our personal relationship, I've heard about a lot of the aha moments that you went through in the past 2 years. But I'm curious to hear, what was your aha moment?
My big break role, I would say that it was in El Cuerpo del Deseo, which was like, one of the most successful soap operas that has been out there. I loved my role there because it was so similar to me, but it was a massive success. So yeah, I think that one was my break. Like, wow, I mean, this is like really happening after all this hard work and all these years of suffering and I've been working my whole life. It's crazy, but I felt like I was very like on and off, and I was also, not really maybe getting the character that I wanted, but everything happens for a reason, and it's so cliche to say that, but it is how life works.
And how did you find out that you got that role? Were you like actively auditioning? Was it something that...
No, I actually this is crazy, because in some way I was kind of like giving up acting in a way, because I was acting since I was 4 till like 23, let's say. And then first I worked with Televisa, and then at some point I was like not getting any roles because like I was like not in the right age or what was happening. And there was another TV network that was starting to do soap operas, which is called TV Azteca. Mm-hmm. So in Mexico, if you go from one network to another, then that's it for you in the other network. So it's like they block you. So I went to TV Azteca. They offered me a very good opportunity that I couldn't say no to. And I went to TV Azteca and I started doing soap operas there.
And then from there, what was the journey like to get to the first big break role?
Televisa, I did great things there. I actually did one of the most successful soap operas in history, which is Muchachitas.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
Yes.
that was my first, like, wow. I mean, I don't, I mean, of course, you know, if you're older, I mean, younger, you're not going to know what it was, but it was like, wow. And then right after that, I had an incredible opportunity, which was like playing the niece of one of a massive actors, Carmen Montejo. And like, yeah, I was like, honestly, I don't know. In Televisa in Mexico, I think I was like all the time in very successful projects. And I think that God was always guiding me. And sometimes I would not get a role and I'd be like crying in my house, like, I didn't get it. But then the show would not be, the soap opera would not be successful. And I was like, oh, I see. So, you know, sometimes you really have, I mean, not sometimes. I know now you always have to trust what's happening.
You have to trust your process
You
and
have
what
to
that
trust
means
your
like for
process.
you.
Yeah, exactly. And then, yeah, and then I went, when after this happened with Televisa and TV Azteca, I was like, okay, I'm done with acting and I don't know what's going to be next for me. I was focused on my personal life at that time. And, but then a manager called me and he like, there's an audition for you in Miami. They want to audition you. Do you want to do it? I was like, yeah, let's try. And I was like a little scary to think like, wow, Miami, like I always lived in Mexico. How is that going to change my life? But let's do it. Let's do it, the audition, and let's see what happens. And I was really like in not a very good space, personal in my personal life. So I was like, this might be what I need. So
right. A little change of scenery, change of environment. I love that. So what was moving like from Mexico to Miami then?
It was awesome because I lived in, I mean, I was, you know, lucky enough to live in a city like Miami, which was all blue skies and beautiful weather and amazing. I know the ocean is gorgeous, loads of Latinos. So I felt at home.
Yes,
You know,
I agree
really
with
feel
you.
like it was a big change. It was like everyone was speaking Spanish. And honestly, yeah, it was like an amazing, amazing experience. The story that I was, you know, everything, the character I was playing, everything. They gave me a car, they gave me a house, like everything was like, yeah, it was awesome. It was like, wow, this is a dream. And I really, I was really happy. I didn't know if I would stay there.
Right.
But at least at that moment, I was really enjoying living in Miami. And yeah. And then, yeah.
And you ended up getting the role for the one that you auditioned?
Yeah, El Cuerpo del Deseo. Yeah.
Wow.
So exactly.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
And that's when not only did your acting career reactivate, but also you moved to the US officially.
Exactly. Yes.
Wow. And what was that like going from telenovelas to now working in an international space, American TV, under American producer houses? What was that transition like for you?
Obviously, at the beginning, I was terrified because English is not my first language, as you can tell by my accent. And I would make a lot of mistakes, and I still make a lot of mistakes. So I would think I was a little scared about not having a script and make mistakes with my language and being probably, you know, I've faced some people being racist to me because I have an accent or because I'm, you know, yeah, just because I'm not American. So I think I was a little concerned on how it will come. But I was like, you know what? I'm just going to own who I am. I love who I am. And I'm just going to be myself. They chose me because, you know, they know who I am and what I have to offer. And then I'm just going to embrace that. And I'm going to embrace who I am because I know that I am a great person and I have a lot to give. And let's see if this is maybe the right thing for me to do. So I did it, and it was definitely a completely different story. When you're doing a soap opera or a TV show, they give you everything. They give you a script. They give you
a character to embody.
Yeah, exactly. You're everything. Yeah, and here it was like kind of like okay, and everyone's already very, they're like very like one. They've been together for 4 years doing the show. And they're friends for years and years and years. So I was the only one truly new there. Like not because even Emma, that was at the same time coming in with me, like they've been friends for years.
Right.
So the only one that was truly new there was me.
So Selling Sunset, how did you manifest that role?
Well, I mean, to be honest, this is another crazy story. And I don't know if I ever thought that this is how it will happen. I mean, I moved to LA with the dream of doing a crossover. and stopped doing villains and just the same character over and over in soap operas and TV shows. I was like, okay, I love it, but I don't want to play the same character over and over. And I do feel like I need to do something different. So I decided to move to LA, and I was doing auditions, but nothing was happening. And then my sister, she was a realtor, and she suggested to me to do real estate while I was not acting. I was like, maybe. So I actually did start studying. She was doing amazing. She was extremely successful. And then I went to Mexico. So I did bring my books and everything to film El Señor de los Cielos, but it was impossible. I was working 14, 15, 16 hours a day. So I was like, okay, it's not happening. I'm going to do it when I come back. So I started studying when I came back. Then they called me back again to do more filming. So long story short, it didn't really happen at that moment. My sister also had a staging company that was completely perfectly aligned with real estate. So she was like, okay, let's open an LA store or LA staging, and then while you get your license, but you'll have both. So I was a little sad in LA. I was feeling a little lonely, and I went to Miami to see my friends because I lived in Miami for 9 years. So I wanted to see my friends. And when I stayed there for I was supposed to be there for 10 days, and I ended up staying like 5 weeks because I was just happy, and I was just probably not feeling the rejection that I was feeling here. And then I came back, and then I was supposed to go and see my sister, and the next day that I came back, she passed away. So I didn't get to see her.
Was it unexpected?
Yeah. So I didn't get to see her or learn from the business or nothing. So wow. So my life turned upside down. And thank you. And I was like, okay, so I mean, the first 3 months, I think I was not even thinking about the business, or not even thinking about real estate, not even thinking about anything. My heart was completely destroyed and shattered in pieces, and having my mom with me destroyed as well. My little brother, I mean, it was like too much, obviously. My nephew, everything. It was I was the one who told everyone. It was like a very heavy place and thing to carry and to have to go through, and especially try to be strong for my mom. But 3 months after, I was like, I need help because this is too heavy, and I need to heal. I know that she doesn't want to see me like this, so I went to start doing meditations and a lot of healing. I think that grief is not something that you will never recover. I don't think that you can recover. The only thing is that you learn to live with it. And then you have the power inside of you to use that love, which is the amount of love that you have for someone is the amount of pain that would normally come with grief.
Right.
And that's what you can turn around and use as fuel to change your life and fly again.
Right. I always love this quote that says, grief is love with nowhere to go. Exactly. And you channel all this love towards a person, and then once they're not here anymore, you're like, where does all of this love go? And then it starts becoming into this almost like space in your heart that you will always like feel empty, but you learn to grow with it, and you learn to live with it. And I'm really sorry to hear about your sister's passing. I know that that's something that affected you a lot in your family, but I also know that there are a lot of like lessons that you learned from that and ways in which you still immortalize her life. So I'd love to hear how that played the role into you eventually becoming a real estate agent yourself.
Yes, exactly. So, I mean, obviously after those 3 months, I started doing my healing, and probably like 2 or 3 months inside of my healing, I started like, okay, I need to bring the staging company to LA and do something with her job, like something about it. So I was not even thinking about real estate. I was just like, okay, I need to honor her life with this business, and I need to make a business for the family, for her son, for my mom, not even for me. It was like, I don't even care about me. I just want to do something for my family. And I brought the furniture, and I started the website, and I was with my brother. He was helping me with everything, and we were going to open houses, but nothing was happening. the furniture that she had was more like San Diego style than LA style. And it can sound like funny, but it is like that. You know, LA is a little bit more modern, like more, it's different. She had beautiful furniture, but different than LA. So I was like, maybe I'm going to the wrong areas. Maybe I need to do more like, you know, more family, which is more San Diego style, if that makes sense. So one day I was like crying in my car, like, please, Jackie, nothing's happening with this. What should I do? And I opened my phone, and it was a Sunday, and I was like, okay, open houses in Sherman Oaks. So I went to Sherman Oaks. I was like, okay, maybe this is more like the style of furniture that I have more for like family houses. And the first open house that I went to, the realtor was there, and he was like, oh my God, in 5 minutes, you're like, I want you to work with me. I was like, what? You're like, I'm not a realtor. He's like, no, I don't care. I want you to work with me because you're amazing with people, and I think you're going to be very successful. And the funny thing is that when my sister suggested to me to do real estate, she said to me, like, you are amazing with people and you love helping people. That's 50 or 60% of the job, if not more. And I think when he used that line, after I asked for her in the car for a sign, I was like, okay, this is a sign I need to do real estate. Because also if it's a smart thing to do.
It's crazy.
Yeah, I know. I was like, wow, I came out of there. I couldn't even go to another open house. Like, I was like, okay, I understand your message, and I'm going to do it. And I started studying, and then the pandemic hit. So my exam got postponed. But anyways, long story short, like maybe 3 weeks before I had my exam, my brother was like, have you checked if they have open spaces again? I'm like, no, it's been like 5 or 6 months of nothing, no studying, no classes, no nothing. You're like, check, maybe you can reschedule now. I'm like, yeah, maybe. So I went into the website, and they scheduled me without notifying me. And it was like 3 weeks after. I was like, what? I haven't studied in so many months. This is madness. He was like, I'm going to change it. He was like, don't change it. Do it. Worst case scenario, you'll do it again. I'm like, okay. So I really went into lockdown, but for studying, like, of course we were in lockdown, but I was like studying like crazy. And I remember going to get my exam, like in the car, like, please give me all your knowledge. And I was talking to her. I talk to her all the time. I went there and I got my exam, and it was at the beginning, I was a little scared. It was like so many questions, and it's another language, not only English, but also real estate has its own language. So it was like, wow. And I got out of there, and they don't let you see your results until you're out of the building. So they gave me my envelope, and I remember that the lady was in front of me, that she received her envelope. The lady was like, yeah, and you need to go in here and do this and this and that. Like, and then when she gave me the envelope, she said nothing to me. I was like, oh no. She didn't say
I can imagine you're panicked. You're like, okay, I'm gonna get out of here then.
I was like dying to open it in the elevator, but I was like, they tell you specifically, you cannot open it in the building. You need to be out of the building. I was like, okay. So I opened the envelope, and I say, like, congratulations. I was like, what? And I was crying and jumping on my own and thanking her for helping me and guiding me. And then I started working in an incredible company, which is also a dream because they don't take new agents. So everything, it was like such a coincidence, like just a friend of mine that I'd met years ago. She's the mom of the owner of this company, incredible company called The Agency. And then she happened to call me that day that I was looking already for emails to send to this company to one of the offices in Malibu. Wow. And we were in touch. Like, she had no idea that I was doing the real estate thing or anything. So she called me that day. And she was like, how are you? I'm like, oh my God, I'm great. I just got my real estate license. No, wait. You have to be in the family, part of the family. You have to speak with my son. I'm like, yeah, I'm looking for, not necessarily Beverly Hills, which is because they have several options. I was like, in Malibu, because I love Malibu. I have friends in Malibu, and I would love to work in Malibu. They're like, okay, then let me speak with my cousin, and maybe they can help you to get an appointment. I was like, okay, amazing. So then, wow, like, I can't believe it. This is awesome. So they gave me the appointment. I went to speak with them, and they were like, wow, we love your story. We love your energy. And yeah, we'll definitely take you in. And I was like, wow, awesome. My dream.
And this all happened back to back.
Back to back.
Wow, that's incredible.
I mean, incredible. And then I think I was at the first month that I was working, I got my first listing, which is very unusual. I remember saying them saying to me, like, it can take up to 2 years sometimes to get your first listing, to build up your, well, like, and then in the middle of pandemic, like, no.
Yeah, I was going to say, in the middle of pandemic, everyone was like
stopped.
saving everything because time stopped. That's crazy.
I know. So, wow, I was like, okay. I started getting my first listing. It was overpriced because the seller, that's what he wanted. But I was like, it's okay. I want to do it. I want to try. I want to learn. And I also love challenges. Why not?
Yeah, let's do it.
You never know.
Amazing.
So I actually did learn a lot from there. And then obviously my best friend, Laura, she told me, what do you want in your life? And it was previous to all of this. And I was like, yeah, I mean, I want to do the crossover. I want a happy marriage. I want all of these things. And she asked me all that. I was like, okay. Yeah. She was like, but I never probably said, oh my God, this is how it has to happen.
Right.
When you put like rules, you might manifest what you want, but it's not necessarily what is in your destiny.
Right.
So I think you need to go with the flow, like
surrender.
Have a vision.
Yeah.
Exactly. Have a vision
direction.
of what you want, but it's not like you're going to stay in your house and do nothing, but let the universe take care of it.
Yeah. Something I love telling everyone is to not get obsessed with the journey or the process, because a lot of people are like, yeah, like the goal is not the dream. It's the process that makes everything happy. But I'm like, yeah, at the same time, though, you should be able to let yourself surrender and accept that you might get to your goal and it might not be in the way that you exactly envisioned it. So, okay, so you were able to get that listing at that incredible job. And then how did Selling Sunset happen? How did you go from there to that?
I know. So one day I am in my house and I see a message saying like, hi, Vanessa. We are auditioning for Selling Sunset. We love you. We would love to audition you. I was like, what? And it's crazy because maybe 3 or 4 days before, I said to my friend Laura, I was in the office and at the agency, and I was like, I don't know why I feel like I'm in Selling Sunset. And I called her, like, I felt like I was in Selling Sunset. And I watched the show probably 2 or 3 years before. And it was not even in my mind, because in my mind was just like, just working. And I think that TV, I was not interested. I was like, and reality TV, I was like, I don't know how to do it. So it's not something that I was even thinking about. So then 2 or 3 days later is when they messaged me. I was like, that is crazy. So I think I kind of like had a vision, and in some way, I remember also that the Dr. Larry, who's the one who gave me all these meditations and all this work to heal and help me with my painful journey, he told me your destiny is to help a lot of women, and in my astrological chart. And I was like, I was going through a very difficult time in life. I was like, how am I going to do that? Like, impossible.
Right. I'm in pain right now. Why am I helping other people?
Yes. I'm not even, forget about it. I was like, I don't even know how. I'm not an actress anymore. I'm not, I'm not doing anything to be able to help anyone. So how am I going to do it? It's impossible. So yeah, I mean, and then it came, I did the audition. I remember we were in Zoom for 3 hours, maybe almost 3 hours. Like they were laughing. I was completely telling all my story. And then they told me, okay, we love you. We're gonna present this to Netflix. And then they called me and they were like, yeah, it's yours. I was like, wow. So then that's how it happened. Honestly, it was it was just like the easiest, because I was not, like, when you're an actor, you have to do an audition on a character, and they have, I don't know, it was just about me and my personality.
Yeah, because it's reality TV too, so a lot of your personal self has to shine. Like from what I'm aware of, and correct me if I'm wrong, reality TV is a mixture of somehow scripted narratives, but a very much of a flow in terms of what you're saying and how you're reacting to things. Is that more or less? Do you feel like in Selling Sunset, were there things that were pieced together to make them look a certain way, or were they genuinely how those
I think the
happen?
edit has a lot to do with what you're saying. In Selling Sunset, they don't script anything. They probably create, if they might, we're gonna have an
outline,
day off, whatever, and then something happens, and that's brilliant for them. But exactly.
Great for the camera.
Great for the camera. Like, if it happens, but they don't, it's not scripted. So it's just like, everything that you see there is how they feel for each other.
And being a Latina in that show, what was that dynamic like?
I didn't feel anything different just because I was a Latina. Maybe what I did feel is like, again, there was like a big bond. I did feel that I am someone that does give people the benefit of the doubt. I do treat people the way that people treat me. So if they're all treating me nice, I'm going to be nice to them. And there's no way that I'm going to take sides. And
Right.
I think, honestly, I don't know, that was the thing that I feel that probably people was expecting for me to take a side. Or even
yeah.
probably people in the office, to take a side. But that's not who I am. I mean, for me, everyone was lovely. For me, everyone was nice. And what I was living in that moment that was my truth and my reality.
Yeah. You stepped into the show, and the first thing that we see is you empathizing and feeling very understanding of the character that's usually portrayed as the villain, as the main villain in the show. And that's honestly what attracted me to your energy. Talk about manifestation. 2 years ago, when the show came out, I was watching it through the pandemic. I was sitting on my couch and I'm like, there's something about this energy that's going to be relevant to my journey. I don't know how. And then you came in the show and I was like, that is my girl. I want to meet her. I want to support her in her journey. Like, I want to just talk to this person. And then that was just in the first introduction that they made of you when you were walking on the Malibu beach towards the house to meet one of the real estate agents. And then next thing we see in the next couple of episodes is you advocating and realizing that the behaviors that you're seeing from some of the cast members are not behaviors that a person that has reached a certain level of healing would normally be portraying, especially not on camera. So you were like, hey, I want to give you the tools. Let's get you to a place of where we can do the inner work. And that, I feel, was so powerful. And it speaks to not only your character, but in general, it's very typical of our community, the Latino community, to be embracing of each other and to hold a lot of space. And familia is a very big thing for us. And I feel like even you coming to the show and giving all the cast members the benefit of the doubt and being like, I want to help you. I see through all of this facade that you have going on. Exactly. I want to help you. So I'm curious to hear, what was that dynamic like? And do you feel like there were things you could have done differently in those moments?
I don't think I could have done anything differently. I think I went with my heart. And again, if people, were expecting different than for me to just like be judgmental and all these things, that obviously that's not me and it's never going to happen. I think that I love the way I was with everyone. Again, like you say, I was giving their space and I was like trying to help and give them the tools because, I just felt like I did feel the pain of her. Especially with Christine. I did feel her pain. I did feel that she was, even though she was like, yeah, I'm okay with not being friends with all of them. I don't think that's true. I think that she was really hurting at that time. Of course, she has gone through things in her life, and sometimes it's someone that you need someone to like sit with you and be like, okay, or maybe it's not the right time. Maybe before they can tell you like, this is the tools. Let me bring you to my mindset coach or my therapist or whatever, and maybe you're like, no, but maybe there's a day where you're like, you know what, I do need it, then maybe you're open to that. And I tried, I that's my personality. I always will do my best to change people's lives for the better, whoever is around me, and I always tell the truth as well. Yep. I don't like to have people around me that are not going to tell me the truth, and you're just going to tell me that everything is okay if they're seeing that I can improve in some way. We're here to grow. We're here to help each other, to love each other, and to give more love to this world. I think I that's my mission in this world. I want to spread more positivity and more love, because there's a lot of hate and there's a lot of drama, and there should be more of
uplifting voices.
Yes.
I agree with you. So that being said, I feel like it's a perfect segue to wrap up and talk a little bit more about your newest project, The Wave of Love. I'd love to hear how that idea came up and what are the plans?
Oh, wow. Okay. Amazing. Well, this is really exciting. This is another incredible thing. So obviously butterflies, which are the reason of The Wave of Love started, are very important in my life since my sister passed away.
Is that how she comes to you in butterflies?
Yeah. One of them, I think, at the beginning was butterflies. And I also believe that butterflies represent what you go through in your life when you go in pain. And it could be through the loss of a job, through a divorce, through the loss of someone, through, like something that happens to you that you're not expecting. And you go in cocoon period and you're like, wow, sometimes you don't see the light.
Yeah.
But, either with your own love or the love that you have for someone, or for your kids, or for the love that you have about that dream that you want to, then you can pour that love into yourself and make magic again and fly again and spread your wings.
I love that. And what I love too about butterflies is this it's cheesy, but I love that saying. It's butterflies can't see their own wings. They can't see the designs on their own wings. They can't see their own beauty. They're just like flying around and everyone's like, wow, such a beautiful butterfly. But the butterfly oftentimes does not know. And I think that it's very true, especially when you're going through those dark periods of times where you give up on your career and you're like, nah, nothing's cool is going to happen. Or you go through this moment of loss and grief in which you sit in your pain and you kind of like let it take over all the areas of your life. But you don't realize that your wings are full of beautiful designs that other people get to see.
Yeah. So through these, I started wearing a butterfly every day. And then every time I will feel sad or whatever, I will touch my butterfly. And everyone started asking me, why are you wearing a butterfly? And where is your butterfly from in the show? Like all the audience that through my Instagram or Twitter or whatever, I was like, oh, well, for me, butterflies represent hope, strength, faith, sisterhood, friendship, love, light. I mean, anything that you need in that moment. It could be anything. And then one day, because I got COVID and I got really bad, I went into a hormonal imbalance. I went super depressed. And nothing was really making me happy. Like, I was like, wow, what does make me happy? I don't know. And with a conversation with my husband, he started like, okay, let's see, what about this and what about that? And we ended up like, he obviously animals. And then obviously the big smile came into my face. And of course, he makes me happy. But it's like, I was searching for something more that couldn't give me like, I cannot rely my happiness on him.
Right.
So I was like, okay. And then we remember of a time that we helped an elderly man. He was so lovely. He couldn't find his car. And I went to look for his car and I drove his car to him. It took me like 25 minutes to find his car, but I found it. It was in the Costco parking lot. So that made me so happy that he was like, see, there you are. Like, you love helping people. I was like, yeah, that's my mission. So I'm going to start doing some lives, which are actually called Finding Happy.
I love that. Those are so fun. I love to see them.
I started talking about my experiences or someone else's experiences, like how I go through a bad day or how I go through my hormonal imbalance and losing hair because of long COVID. And a lot of people were, like, oh my God, I'm going through the same. And then you realize that you're helping people and you're changing their perspectives of, instead of me getting like, oh my God, I'm losing my, of course, there were moments where I was like, what is happening to me? I was terrified and afraid, but I would not stay in there. I would be like, what can I do to change how I feel right now? Because I'm alive.
Right.
And I have so much to do. And I don't want to feel this way. I can change. It's just a feeling. I can change how I feel in a second if I want to.
And so I also find it so amazing that you decided to share these moments where you were going through that, because there's so much to say about collective healing. Mm-hmm. That's why when people go, why are people posting videos of them crying on the internet? I'm like, there's so much power in collective healing. In a comment that says, I feel just like that. Yeah. Thank you for sharing this. Yes. Thank you for normalizing this. Thank you for sharing that your life that's successful, that's in the big screens. Thank you for showing us this human side to you that we all have.
I think that was my favorite part about entering reality TV. Yeah. Like when I realized the impact that I had just by sharing what happened to my sister and being so vulnerable and open in my heart. Like, I think that was like wow, that was awesome. Like, now I understand the power that I have to help others, and now I have the platform to do it. So I'm going to do it. I have to do something with this. I cannot just stay at home and do nothing about it. I'm going to help people, and through my experiences, all of them have happened for a reason, so I can share them and I can help others. And I have helped people to go out of there. There was a girl that would not go out of her house for days. And then while I was talking to her, one day she was like, guess what? I went out of the house. I was like, wow. And that put me in tears. And I was like, okay, so now we have to do something to create a wave of love. And then I started sending people, like, if I knew that something was wrong with you, I would be like, please send butterflies to the last post of, And I was like, okay, so now everyone has to have a butterfly. And that's how I started this little project. Well, it's a little project now, but
It's not a little project. It's a project. It's your big project.
Thank you. Yeah. Of the butterflies, I was like, okay, I'm gonna start like with my jewelry and my sunglasses, so everyone can have a butterfly no matter what, in their hands, in their necks, or in their faces, and just have that power and believe how beautiful they are and strong they are, and just give to someone else that they know that they need that. So I finally launched, and it's been insane because obviously butterflies represent my sister as well. And then I launched on the day that she passed away, on her anniversary. And it's crazy because the first order, I am doing the packing right now. I'm moving in January to someone that's going to help me, but right now I'm doing it on my own. And I had my first box, the first one, open there to pack. And then my husband was like probably, I don't know, 2 feet. I don't know in feet, but like
yeah, me either. I just know like it's un metro
from me,
por atrás.
And the box, it was like in the table. I was sat far away from the table, and the box just moved like this, like a butterfly. But like crazy, I couldn't believe it. I was like, wow. And my husband looked at me. I was like, did you see that? And you're like, yes. And we've seen my sister's presence so many times, but that one was like shocking to me. I was like, wow. So obviously I started crying. He started crying. And I was like, wow, this is amazing. And the first week has been incredible. And I've been reaching to people that message me through Instagram, like, oh, I just got myself a necklace, or I just got a necklace for my daughter, and blah, blah, blah. And I just like this little girl that I don't know why I got curious about, like, oh, let me see. And she's all about butterflies, and she's going through cancer. So I wrote a special note for her, and now she's saying to everyone how happy she is because she received her butterflies. I said those butterflies have special powers just like hers. She's a superpower girl. So I'm like, oh my God, my mission is so incredible. I can put smiles on people's, or hearts, or little girls that are going through things like this. Or another girl that I just gifted some sunglasses, like she got her thyroid removed, and for her since then, butterflies have represented like something so incredible to her. So it's crazy the people that I am touching with this. And I love it because I am like, this is exactly what I wanted to do. And even if it's just one person that will feel the love that I'm sending through these butterflies, the hope or the light or the strength that you need sometimes, then my job is done, because that's my mission. And that's what I want to do with the Wave of Love. And eventually we'll move to, other things, events, organizations, and I want everyone to be able to have maybe a pen or anything with a butterfly and with something that will represent love and strength and hope.
I love that, Vanessa. Thank you so much. I love wrapping up with this question, and it's, what is one tip that you would tell your past self that was going through those really hard times? If you could just say one thing to them and nothing else, what would that be?
Trust and have faith. And before we go, because I know that you wanted to have one.
Oh, girl, you're going to make me cry. Stop. Yes. I've been crying secretly
I'm
over
super
here.
Proud of you. I didn't want to have it here, but anyways, I'm going to let you open it yourself. Whenever you don't have to open it right now, but I want you to have a little piece of my love.
Thank you. I'll open it right now. I just want to show.
Yay.
Oh, I know that I wanted to. Oh my God, this is beautiful. Thank you so much. You're a huge inspiration to a lot of people, and you're a very big healer, and I can just feel it. But most importantly, I feel Jackie's legacy living through you. Yeah. So I don't think I need to tell you that she's proud of you, because you already know that. I hope you're proud of yourself, and I hope that you know that her legacy keeps living on as well as yours. And just so grateful. Thank you so much for being here. And
thank you.
Muchísimas gracias, Vani, de verdad. Qué bello corazón, beautiful soul.
Gracias.
And that's it for now, guys.
Bye.